So here's law of sine. Sine of A over A equals to sine of B over B equals to sine of C over C. It's easy to remember, and the formulas will be given to you. And you use law of sine basically when you have a matching angle and side. So if you have two angles, you can find the third angle, and you just have to have one of the sides. So we usually use it for angle, angle, side, and angle, side, angle. Okay. So first, let me prove this. Prove why this is true on a non-right triangle. So here is a triangle, non-right triangle, and I just drew the height. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and use angle A and B to write an equation in terms of h. So sine of A is opposite over hypotenuse, so it is sine of A equals to h over B. From this angle, sine of B is opposite h over hypotenuse, which is A. Right? So I came up with two equations, and I'm going to combine them. So what's in common from this equation and that equation? H. So I'm going to go ahead and solve for H. Multiply by B on both sides. So I get H equals to B times sine of A from this equation. Here, I'm going to multiply by A on both sides. So I get H equals to A times sine of B. And these H refers to the same height, right? So if they're both equal to H, can I set these two also equal to each other? Substitution. So I'm going to write B times sine of A equals to H, which is again A sine of B. Okay? And in order to just keep the sign of A and B on top, I'm going to divide by B and A's. Why? So here, when I divide by B, I'm left with sine of A over A equals 2. Now here, A's are canceled out. So I'm left with sine of B over B, which is part of law of sines, right? And then you can find sine of B over sine of C over C equal to these ratio if you draw a height this way and use these two angles, okay? But I'm not going to do it over. So this is how we can prove sine of law of sines, or true. I mean, it works. Okay? So again, we use law of sines whenever you have a matching side and angle. Okay? So let's try an example question. So again, solve triangle using the law of sines. So solve the triangle ABC if angle A is 32.1 degrees and B is 57.4 degrees and side C is 14.3 feet. So this one, can we use law of sine? When can we use law of sines? When you have matching side and angle. But do you have any matching side and angle here? Where? No, but if two angles are given, can you find the third angle? Yes. Then once you find C, you have this matching side and angle. Do you guys see it? So for this one, I mean, you don't have to list all 6. Just write what you're solving for. C and side A and B. Angle C. So how would you find angle C? It is 180 minus the two angles, right? So what do you get? 90.5, yeah. 0.5 degrees. Okay? So we are 1/3 way done. We just got to find 2 more. And here now, once you have a matching side and angle, you can always use law of sine. And usually law of sine is easier than law of cosine to use, so you'll use law of sine. So now, how do you set it up then? Sine of 90.5 degrees over 14.3 equals to, you only start with 2 ratios, not all 3 at once. And let's find B first. Sine of B, which is 57.4 degrees over B. Then what do? You cross multiply them. And don't plug into the calculator yet. Just go ahead and write what your final expression is and plug it at once at the end so you don't have to keep rounding your answers throughout. So B times sine of 90.5 equals to 14.3 times sine of 57.4. And what will be your last step? We're solving for B. So what's our last step? Divide by sine of 90.5. Sine of 90.5. And again, put this whole expression at the end. But I'll divide into 2 steps. I'll multiply first, sine of 57.4, and press enter. And then divide that answer by sine of 90.5. Okay? And that way you can carry your exact answer over to find the answer. So you get 12.048. So B equals to 12.048. 12.048. Okay? What would you do to solve for A? You will do exact same thing. And now you have B, but still, go ahead and use sine of A over A because that can be wrong, right? They gave you the length A. So again, go back to sine of A, which was 90.5 over, no, C. Actually, sine of C over C, 14.3 equals to sine of A, which is 32.1 degrees over A. So cross multiply them. So A times sine of 90.5 equals to 14.3 times sine of 32.1 degrees. Again, what is our last step? Divide by what? Right, we're solving for A, so we have to get rid of sine of 90.5. Okay. So what do we get? 14.3 sine of 32.1. Press enter. Divide by sine of 90.5. 7.599. 7. So A equals to 7.599. So here we solve the triangle. You have all 3 angles and all 3 sides. Okay? Try number 2. So here, first cover the diagram. I mean, this is our first time trying the word problem with law of sine. So I provided the diagram, but first cover it and see whether you can come up with the diagram. Okay? So road slopes 15 degrees above the horizontal. So the road is angled, right? It has a slope of 15. And the vertical telephone pole stands beside the road. And the angle of elevation of the sun is 65 degrees. And the pole casts a 15-foot shadow downhill along the road. Find the height of the pole. This is actually a question from the textbook. It's not easy. I agree. But you will get a question like this on the test later. So now with this, does it make sense? So let's start from the first statement. So the road slopes 15 above. So this is the road. And angle's 15 from the horizontal. And the telephone pole is a vertical. So here you can draw anywhere, but here I happen to draw it here, and that's vertical. And here's the sun. So the angle of elevation to the sun is 65. That means if you draw the angle of elevation from the ground here, this will be also, what? 65. Remember, corresponding angles are congruent. Here's a horizontal line, here's a horizontal line, so either 65 here or there, which will give you angle of this angle. Measure of this angle will be 65 minus 15, which is 50. And the pole casts 15-foot shadow along the road. So this is 15. You see, this is 15. So now the question is, find the height of the pole X. So for now, I have an angle and sine. Is that enough to solve? Yes. Yeah, so this is the length of the shadow. Shadow is it's cast on the road, downhill, along the road. So do we have any other angle? Look here. If this is 65, what is this angle? 65 vertical angles are congruent. And the horizontal line and vertical pole makes what? 90. So 90 minus 65 will be 25. And you can find this angle, but we don't need to. Why? Do you see how we have a matching side and angle? 25 goes with 15. If you're looking for the length of side, that goes with 50. Right? So how do you set up the law of sine? Sine of 25 degrees equals to 15 here equals to sine of 50 over x. So from here, same thing, you cross multiply. So 15 times sine of 50 degrees equals to x times sine of 25. Then you divide it by sine of 25. So then you plug it in. 15 sine of 50 divided by sine of 25. What do you guys get? 189. 27.189 is the height of the pole. It's in feet. Okay. Try number 3. Would they always ask you to find the missing length like the last two? No. You have to also find the missing angle. So here angle C is 103, B is 46, and C is 61. You see how this is angle side side? You see how we have a matching side and angle? Then we can use law of sine. So we're going to go ahead and solve B first. right? So sine of 103 over 61 equals to sine of B over 46, right? These two. And at the end, we have to find B and angle A and side A. So then what do? Cross multiply 46. Sine of 103 equals to 61 times sine of B. Then what would you do? Divide by 61. And here, it involves another step at the end because they gave you sine of B, so you have to take the inverse of sine on both sides. So here, we're going to use the exact answer, but still you can give me the rounded answer for the next step. So 46 sine of 103, press enter. Divide by 61. Gives me 0.735. 0.735. Yeah, I'm going to round this answer, but when you actually take the inverse of sine, I'm going to use the exact answer. So what do? Second sine for arc sine. And then how do I copy this previous answer? Second negative. Do not use rounded answer. Okay? These decimal, even it's like point a few off, gives you different angle. So it is 47.288. 47.288 degree is your angle B. Then what would you do? Right. You can find A by subtracting the other two angles from 180, right? So 180 minus 103 minus your B, 47.288. To get your angle A, which is, what do you guys get? 29.712 degrees. Yes, that's angle A. 29.712 degrees. Then what would you do to find the length A? Another ratio for law of sines, right? But again, stick with your original C's, okay? I mean, if you really trust yourself, you can use your new angle and new side. But if I were you, I'll just use what they gave us. So again, sine of 103 degrees over 61 equals to now sine of our new angle A is 29.712 over A. Right? We got angle A, and you're looking for side A. So again, what do? Cross multiply. So 61 times sine of 29.712 equals to A times sine of 103. Divide by sine of 103. Divide by sine of 103. So what do you get for A? 31.029. You just got to plug this into the calculator, right? So you get 31 point. Do you guys get the same answer? So again, make sure you always give me this box with missing side and angles, okay? All right, one last one. So cover the diagram again and see whether you can come up with the diagram, the triangle for the last one. That one is much easier than the other one. So a lamppost tilts towards the sun at 2 degrees angle from the vertical line. So that means here's the sun towards the sun, and here's the ground. And what will it tilted what? 2 degrees from the vertical line. So it will be what? What will be the angle? 90 plus 2, which will be 92 degrees, right? And it says the vertical, and it casts 25-foot shadow. So here's the sun, so here's the shadow, which is 25 foot, 25 feet. And the angle from the tip of the shadow to the top of the lamppost is 45 degrees. Find the length of the lamppost. So x is what we're looking for. So here, can we use law of sine? But do you have a matching side and angle? Can we use SOHCAHTOA? But this is side angle, side angle. Yeah, we can find the last angle by subtracting from 180 the other two angles. So you get 47. Is it 43? 43. So this is 43. Then we have a matching side and angle, right? Then can we use the law of sine? So sine of 43 over 25 equals to sine of 45, because we're looking for x, right? Over x. So when you cross multiply, you get 25 sine of 45 equals to x times sine of 43 divided by sine of 43 and sine of 43. So x equals to 25 sine of 45, press enter, divide by sine of 43. Don't try to do all three steps at once, okay? Press enter. Doesn't cost you to press more enters. 25.920. 920 what? Feet. That's pretty tall lamppost, right? 25.920. That's about like